Hello YouTube, WJ's Handy Dad here, and today we're going to do an oil change on the 2010, and I'm going to test out this engine restore stuff and see if it does anything. My performance and gas mileage is a little bit saggy compared to the 08, and definitely seat of the pants feel off the line. This thing really kind of a dog right now, so I'm going to see if that will help at all. And doing the first shop oil change today because I don't know if you can see or not, but the wind is going crazy, and if I do oil change outside, there's going to be oil all over the ground. As always, first thing we're going to do is remove the filler cap, and that's mainly just because if you can't get that off, you're not going to be able to refill your oil, and if you drain everything out, you're going to be in trouble. And before you say, well, that never happens, if you saw my Dodge Charger video, the first oil change I ever did on that cap was almost like somebody JB welded it on. I almost didn't get the cap off before I started. Eventually got it off though. Mine uses a 7/8 socket to remove the drain bolt. I don't know if that's a P7B thing or if mine has a different sized drain bolt. All my other Crown Vics had a 5/8. And you're happy that you've gotten as much out as you can patiently stand. And you could sit here probably another 30 minutes or more watching this drip, but you've realistically changed the oil at this point. Go ahead and replace the drain plug. And I know I get a ton of grief, but you should torque it to 15 foot-pounds. If you don't want to use the torque spec, that's up to you, but I just think that way, you know, Ford's figured the torque spec out, keep it from leaking without over tightening it. That way there's no guesswork. Next is the oil filter. Get your drain pan underneath here. You see mine has a little drain. I don't know if that was factory for the P7B or if that's something the department added. Just unthread your oil filter and the oil will either spill all over the place or go down the little chute. And the only thing you need to check is make sure the oil filter gasket didn't stick to the car. That has never happened to me in 30 or more years of changing oil on cars, but that's supposedly something that can happen. Next, we want to prep our oil filter. For this year model, it uses the 910. All the other Crown Vics I've ever owned use the 820, which is the bigger filter. Just check and make sure it's either 09 or 10 where they switched to this for the Police Interceptor. Prep it with just a light coating of oil on the O-ring. That helps it go on and make a good seal and not stick. And that may be why I've never had one of these O-rings stick to the car. Let's clean up as much of the oil it has splattered as you can. And take your new oil filter. Just spin it on, and when it snugs up, give it about a quarter more turn just to make sure it doesn't leak. I opened up the bay door to let in some of that free air conditioning now that the oil is drained, and we're just filling it up. It's one of the few times in Texas when you have free air conditioning outside. And we'll just fill it up. We'll just fill it up. I'm going to start with the engine restorer. It says to shake it up really well before you add it. So I've been shaking it for a while. I'll let it sit there for a while since it's still dripping, and I want to get as much of it as possible. Since it's a 6-quart system, when I fill with the 5-quart jug plus this, I still need about a half a quart more. And our full synthetic 5W20. Let me know in the comments what you think. I drive about 7,000 miles a year, and that's been pretty consistent for the last 15 to 20 years that I've been keeping track of mileage for business purposes. So that 7,000 miles is divided among all of my vehicles. These two get the bulk of the driving, the rest of them get a very small percentage. Because of that, and because I change the oil about every 3,000 miles, the Crown Vics get about 1 oil change per year. So let me know in the comments if you think that that is okay, or if I should still be changing them every 3 to 6 months regardless of mileage. It's always worked for me, but just curious what y'all think. When you've put in at least 5 quarts, you want to start the vehicle, get it to a level spot, and check your dipstick first by cleaning it, then reinsert it fully, and then remember to always replace your oil fill cap every time before you start the car or anything, or you'll have oil coming out of here. And if you want to trigger my OCD, put yours on like that. If you want to make me happy, then put yours on like that. Check it. And the bottom hole there is 1 quart low, and then those hatch marks are considered okay, and then the top hole is considered basically full or over full. So I am saying that I am right at the bottom hole right now. Before I started it, I checked and it was almost to the top. So once you run your engine, it's gonna like fill up the oil filter and stuff and give you a more accurate reading. But basically in between those 2 holes is the ideal. So I'm technically about a quart low. So I'm going to have to put in almost a quart. Remember to recycle your used motor oil. Pour it back into the bottle that you just filled up your car with. You can take it to your local parts store or perhaps another location to recycle. And they don't charge you to do it, so do it. Hope the video was helpful. Appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and please tell your friends about my channel. Thank you very much.